session will be recorded, and a recording will be sent out and made available to everybody who's registered. So with that, Shannon and Patricia, I turn it over to you.
Okay, great. Well, thank you, Corey, for putting all this together for us. We really appreciate it. Welcome, everyone. And as I like to say, happy Friday's Eve. I don't know about you, but the week has definitely been long, but sure enjoying a wonderful, beautiful hot day here in sunny California. The purpose of this meeting today is to really learn and expand your teacher pipeline through WGU student teacher placement. I would like to take the opportunity, next slide, please, to make some introduction. My name is Patricia Zeri. I'm the Senior Strategic Partnership Manager for WGU for the state of California. My role is to work with Teachers Association as well as districts in our state and really provide solutions that meets a lot of their workforce and student needs. Here with me, I have Shannon Jones. If you'd like to please introduce yourself.
Hi, everybody. Shannon Jones, Strategic Partnerships Manager for Central California. So my role is similar to Patricia's, but I'm local here to Central Cal, covering part of Northern Cal as well, working with districts and partnering with them to, help in any way that we can in terms of, teacher placement, growing your teachers' parapro pathways and that type of thing.
Great, thank you, Shannon. And then I'd like to also introduce Terry Miller. Terry?
Hello, everyone. My name is Terry Miller. I actually work in the Teachers College at WGU, and my focus is building relationships with school districts nationwide to host our student teachers.
Great, thank you so much, Terry. As Corey mentioned, since we have a small group, our meeting is going to be very informal, so please feel free to share any questions or comments you like in the chat as we go through the PowerPoint. So I'd like to kind of start our presentation with a quick icebreaker. So if you could please go to the next slide. I don't know about you, but since it is a warm, hot day, like I mentioned earlier, I love ice cream. So we thought it would be fun to kind of share what is your favorite ice cream flavor. If you want to take a few minutes to kind of go ahead and put it in the chat. Vanilla, all right, chocolate. Ooh, I like that. Extreme Mousse Tracks, okay. Mint chip, yes, I love mint chip. Okay, we got a couple mint chip, a couple vanillas. Now you have to, agree that now you're probably all craving ice cream, and I'm sorry, it's my fault. But please make sure you treat yourself with a nice cold treat after this meeting. Okay, so next slide. Before we start, I'd like to introduce Shannon, and she will talk a little bit about the 5 steps to help with teacher pipeline and how you maximize your resources to help with that. Go ahead, Shannon.
Hi, everybody. I'm always doing some research, and so I just came across this and wanted to share it with you all. If I get a chance, we're running the PowerPoint from my laptop right now, but if I can, I'll put the link in the chat later. Just thought this was great. 5 steps that every school district should take to help maximize that opportunity when you do have student teachers in the classroom, right? So one, I'm talking about who your mentor teacher is, just trying to pull those mentor teachers from some of your strongest teachers and make it worth their while to be a mentor teacher. And also that either that person is kind of by nature a great recruiter, or that you're giving them a little training in what it means to be a recruiter. Sometimes people overshare, but this is the time when you want them to really talk about why they chose to teach at your district, and why they think it's a great place to be a teacher, and what a great family you have, and really, strongly recruit those student teachers. And then also to maybe reduce any anxiety that they might have. Sometimes they might feel like, oh, I've already got too much on my plate. I've got a family and I'm teaching and I got to grade papers after school, right? So maybe giving them the opportunity to meet prospective student teachers before they become a mentor teacher, and and work with somebody where they feel like, they have some good chemistry, right? Or they already kind of click, because that sometimes will make a difference in the experience as well. And then before you even agree to place a student teacher, having some opportunity to interview them and determine if you feel like they're a good fit for your district, and if potentially it would be somebody that you'd want to hire. I used to have a manager when I worked in pharmaceutical sales a long, long time ago that said she would hire people that she knew she wanted to spend 8 hours in a car with. That's something to think about. And then lastly, number 5, talks about attracting the best student teachers. And so consider paying a small stipend to student teachers as a way of attracting highly sought after candidates. And that's something that Patrizia can talk to you at the very end too, about some of the ways we partner with districts to help with that. So I hope that was helpful. Like I said, I'll try and put that link in the chat later. And Patrizia, back to you.
Great. Well, so I wanted to start this presentation. Actually, we wanted to start this presentation with kind of sharing a little bit about WGU, just to kind of get you acquainted. Since I'm not sure how much y'all know about WGU, I thought I could give a little summary of who we are. WGU, which is known for Western Governor University, was founded in 1997 by a group of United States governors with funds from the Department of Education. Our model is very different from the traditional setting, because it is based on competency-based education that really measures the skills of the student. The student have the ability to progress through the courses as soon as they can prove mastery. And of course, we have the faculty members that provide a personalized one-on-one learning support throughout the program, which means that every student will have a kind of a degree pathway, or I normally like to call it an educational plan, to really support them through that process. Next slide, please. So what really differentiates us from the rest of the other schools? Well, we're very proud to say that a lot of our students earned a degree without a debt. As of today, 42% of our WGU undergraduates complete their degree without taking any student loan. We're very proud that we really focus on providing resources such as scholarship opportunity for our students to really help with the minimizing educational barriers to their education career. We offer military benefits as far as also federal aid available to all of the students that qualify. And we have a flat rate tuition, which is paid by 6-month term, and it's not by credit. And last but not least, our tuition is one of the low price for as many courses as you can complete each term. So the student have the ability to take as many courses just as long as they complete and are able to show mastery through the process. And what's really unique about that is that because they have a program mentor that follows them through the process, they'll be able to kind of have a one-on-one with them and kind of see if they're ready to move to the next and kind of progress through their journey. Now, with that said, I'd like now to turn it over to Terry, who's going to talk a little bit about our statistics and then, what is our placement agreement.
Awesome. So thank you, Patrizia. So I'm just going to start off really quick with a little bit more about me. So I grew up in rural Idaho. I ended up living in rural Kentucky and going to a university that was about 45 minutes from where I lived. And then after I graduated, I taught in rural Kentucky as well. And so I really love WGU for the simple fact that it provides so much opportunity for students where they're at. We don't ask that a student that's in rural California go to Los Angeles to UCLA or anything like that. They're able to do it in their own homes. And the exciting part of what I do is I get to meet with districts and help provide opportunities for folks in their hometowns to do their student teaching and become your future educators. So this is near and dear to my heart because I just love what we're all about and the opportunities that it presents to our students and to their communities where they live. So right now our current student population in California is about 2,800 students. So it's our third largest state for WGU's Teachers College. About 2,100 of those students are in initial licensure programs, and those vary from elementary education, special education, STEM programs, English. So they run the whole gambit. We also have about 650 in post-certificate programs, and those programs include programs like curriculum and instruction, educational leadership, English language learning, as well as endorsements for a master's in science or in math. And that's actually the program I did in WGU a few years ago. Well, been about 10 years ago now, but I completed my master's with WGU in science education. And it's a great opportunity because I was working full-time at WGU, and it provided me the opportunity to attend in my off hours. So I was able to work full-time at nights. I'd do my studying, and I was able to work and get placement here with a school district close to me and complete my 2-week culminating assessment there. And we also have about 26 students in educational studies. Those are not certificated programs, but it's just for individuals who are looking just to get some more education in education. All right, next slide. So WGU, we do pretty well with our STEM. We're #1 in STEM nationally. One, because we're nationwide. We're able to help students all across the country pursue their programs. We're rated in the top 1% of teachers' colleges nationally by NCTQ for quality and value, something that we are very proud of because, you know, we want our students to come out ready to go. We want them to hit the districts ready to teach and to be effective teachers for your students. And so we're proud of that quality. And the fact that, like Patricia said, they come out of our university with low student debt or no student debt. And that's extremely important to us. We're accredited by both CAPE accreditation and AQUEP. Those are 2 of the Teachers College accrediting bodies in the country, and we were the first to be accredited by both. So that was a pretty cool feather in our cap, I guess you'd say. And so that's exciting as well. And next slide. So we are also regionally accredited by the Northwest Commission on Colleges and Universities, and then I mentioned the other Teachers College accreditations. If you have folks that are interested in our other colleges, we're also accredited in nursing. You know, we have our IT folks that when they come out, they have all kinds of certifications. I'm not IT, so I really don't know much about them. We also have a great business program as well. So, you know, we're not just Teachers College, but that's where we focus because that's where I reside here at WGU. Next slide. So some of the initial licensure programs that we have, I mentioned a little bit before. We have obviously our elementary education or multi-subjects there in California. We have a couple different special education programs. One is a dual licensure program that will, when the individual completes their program here, they will be licensed in elementary ed and special education. We also have a specific special education mild to moderate program as well. We offer our mathematics degrees in middle and secondary education, as well as science in middle grades, and then the various science categories here: chemistry, physics, biology, and earth science. And then we also have our Masters of Arts in Teaching. And this is where you'll see our addition of English education, as well as our math and science education, and again, a master's in teaching in special education as well. Next slide. Some of our advanced programs for those who are already certified. We have the degrees in curriculum and instruction and leadership, and you can read all these. We have a wide variety of programs for already licensed teachers, so they can get their master's and move on, so they can expand their roles at the schools if they need to be licensed in secondary biology. There's that option. And like I said, that's the program that I did, and it was nice just to add that to my social studies degree. I was able to expand out into the science area. Next slide. So a little bit about how we work our clinical phase of the licensure programs. So this is, it's something that is required by all our initial licensure folks and some of our advanced program folks, and I'll kind of address those in 2 different areas. For initial licensure, there's two aspects to their field experiences. The first is a preclinical experience or practicum, and it's really just getting their feet wet with teaching. We want them to get in the classroom. We start them off with some video observations to see what life is like in front of students, and then we get them out into the classroom to actually observe and hopefully participate with a host teacher. And this gives them that opportunity, one, to see, is this really what I want to do? And two, to get them more prepared for when they do their student teaching. So it's not a jump in ice water, you know, they can kind of ease into it a little bit. The student teaching is the final experience that they have. And it tends to be, it's a minimum of 12 weeks. We do have that flex a little bit with our dual licensure program that is 16 weeks because they have to do 2 separate placements in each area that they're studying. And so that gives them that opportunity to learn from their host teacher, to take the classroom and be in charge of it for a little bit. And we also allow them to work as team teachers. So they're able to co-teach with their host teacher as well. And their culminating assessment is the EdTPA. That's, you know, they need to complete some kind of TPA, and we have them complete the EdTPA. And so that does require some video recording in the classroom so they can submit that for evaluation of their teaching practices. While they're doing their student teaching, we also have them enrolled in a cohort seminar. And what this is, it's a group of their peers. So say I was student teaching in elementary education, I would be in a group of about a dozen other individuals, also in my geographical area and in my program. So we're able to communicate about experiences that we're having. We're able to talk about successes and opportunities for improvement. You know, also discussing these seminars are the EdTPA and what needs to be done for that, and making sure that they're on track to complete that in time to submit it within the submission windows. And so it's a really great opportunity for supporting our student teachers as they move through their program, so they're not all alone out there. In my undergrad, I did not have this, and so it's a little bit tricky because I was doing it, I felt like I was all on my own sometimes. So this is one aspect that I really think is awesome of our program. So advanced programs that I mentioned before, some of them do have a field experience, and like our ed leadership, that is a little bit longer experience that they need to participate in. Our English language learning, they do about 30 hours. For my program in science, I had to do a 2-week stint in a classroom and present a unit of study. And so that was exciting. I really enjoyed doing that. So they do vary in length and opportunities. It's nice for already licensed teacher when they're getting an endorsement program that they don't have to take off for a full 2 weeks. They can just hop over to another classroom during a lunch hour and complete a unit of study, and it works out well for them. Next slide, please. So support for our teacher candidates. It goes beyond the seminar that I was talking about that's with their peers. We also offer support through our placement team, and they work with the districts and with the schools and the teacher candidate to make sure we get them in the placement appropriate to their program that's going to meet their requirements for state licensure. They work to get an appropriate host teacher and clinical supervisor assigned. After they're placed, we have a teacher success team, and this success team is, they'll get everything assigned for the cohort seminars that has the facilitator. They're really there to support the teacher candidate, but also the district and school individuals there during the field experiences. So if something comes up, a host teacher can reach out to this team, a principal can reach out to this team. It just is really an opportunity for supporting the entire placement atmosphere. They also support the teacher candidates another level of support as they complete their EdTPA. The host teacher, they are the educator who hosts our teacher candidate. So it could be cooperating teacher, master teacher, depending on where you go, there's all kinds of terms, but they're the individual hosting the teacher candidate as they complete their educational experiences here. The host teacher will complete 2 evaluations during the time that the student is in the classroom, a midterm and a final evaluation. and that they will submit to us, so we can make sure that we are putting out quality teachers. And we can also find out if there's opportunities for us to further support our students so they can be successful. We assign a clinical supervisor that has the educational background in the area where our student is studying. So for instance, me going into science, I would have someone who had a science background to be my clinical supervisor. This individual completes 6 observations over the course of our students' time in the classroom, and they also complete 2 evaluations, a midterm and a final. And the important thing to know with the clinical supervisor is they're available the entire time period that our student is in the classroom. So they don't complete the 6 observations in the first 8 weeks of the program and then disappear. These individuals are there from start to finish for support, and they're also another layer of support for the host teacher as well. Next slide, please. So this is a map. I love maps because my undergrad is actually in geography, so this is right at home for me. I created this map, and this shows just our student teachers for the next year. So this is 21-22 year. And so you'll see, yeah, we have huge clusters in LA, San Diego, San Francisco, and Sacramento areas. But we do have students all across the state. And I think that's the important thing for us is we're really geared towards individuals who don't have access to another option for their education. And like I said before, that's one of the things that drew me to WGU from the teaching field is I love that we have that opportunity to support these rural communities. I actually went on a vacation to rural Wyoming to get away from everything, no cell service or anything else, but the Airbnb we stayed, it ended up that the lady there was attending WGU to get her teaching degree, and there was a handful of other folks in that same area doing the same thing. And I was just amazed, and I was awestruck because seeing the impact that we're having in all areas is just awesome. So yeah, we do get students randomly, and this is just for this next school year. I didn't do all our teachers college students because it just gets where you can't see anything on the map. So a great opportunity for us to serve rural communities as well. Next slide, please. In my opportunities to visit school districts, I've had a few of the, I've had the following things told to me. 2/3 of their placements come from WGU. They really love working with WGU. They have, WGU has quality students, and principals are eager to host our students. Employees alike attending WGU, which I like because that's one of the great ways we have to serve districts is by helping their employees become teachers. And we love to help with that pathway because we've found that individuals who already live in the community, who are already working in the school district, are more likely to stay with that school district after they're certified rather than moving to another district to work. WG employees are great and personable. I like that because I'm a WG employee and I like to think that I'm great and personable. We have new hires this year from WGU. I actually just talked to a district in South Carolina this past week, and they hired two of our students to work there, and they also have a couple of their teachers who are coming to WGU for their degrees as well. So that's pretty exciting for me to hear always when our partners are having that impact from WGU. Next slide. So next steps. You want to learn more? Please reach out to me. I'm more than happy to talk to you about any specific needs that you have. I know Patricia and Shannon are the same way. We love working with you all, and I'm going to stop and let Patricia take over.
Wow, I'm taking over. All right. After that, I don't know. Well, I guess thank you, Terry, and thank you, Shannon, for sharing these great insight with us. I want to kind of open it up to the group and see if there's any additional questions or thoughts or anything you would like to share that you thought maybe was interesting or you want to learn more about that. Please feel free to come on mute and just kind of ask.
And Terry, can you come back on video and just speak to, how you've seen in your work that this has helped districts to expand their teacher pipeline because I know that's critical. We're all aware of the teacher shortage and how COVID and the pandemic has made that worse, and just what you've seen in your experience.
Awesome. Yeah. I'm based here in Utah. All the Facebook things that I take say I should live in California. My wife's from Los Angeles, so we're down there quite a bit. But the impacts that I've seen specifically here in my home district is we've been able to work with the district here. They saw a need for teachers, for diverse teachers. They want teachers to accurately reflect their student population, right? And I think we see that everywhere. We really want a student coming into the classroom and seeing someone who looks like them in front of the class. And so that they decided to hire a cohort of paraprofessionals at the district, and they are attending WGU to get their degrees. And as soon as they graduate, they're going to be hired by the district to work in the schools. And so that's one of the ways that I've seen it. The impact that I've also seen is in my travels. I've had the opportunity to travel to Imperial County down in Southern California. I've been around various areas out around Sacramento quite a bit as well. I've been out there a few times. And just the opportunity that we have to provide that pathway for a paraprofessional in a rural area is great, because it allows them to, on their time, get their degree. And I think that's the main thing. For me, the main takeaway from all this is the fact that our students can maintain their position as a paraprofessional. They're able to maintain their life as a parent, and to be able to, at their own pace, at their time, complete their degree. They're able to take that knowledge that they've had from 20 years of being a paraprofessional and apply it to their program and accelerate. For an example of that, I have, back in the old days when I was in the military, I was attending nursing school. And so I'd take a lot of anatomy and physiology and stuff like that. Well, going into science at WGU, I had to take in some anatomy and physiology stuff. And they asked, like, okay, how do you draw a heart? Well, I know that. I can just sit down and draw what a heart looks like. I know what the anatomy looks like on that. And so I was able to shoot through that stuff really fast because I knew it. Then I hit physics. Physics I don't have a background in. That was rough. I had to take my time and slow down and really use our learning resources and our staff who is focused on the physics area. We have our individuals that support those classes. I use them a lot in that area because I needed that help. So that was a benefit as well, to have that opportunity to accelerate through what I knew and slow down with what I didn't was huge for me. And being able to do most of my classes from 11 p.m. to 3 a.m. when the family was asleep was a big benefit to me as well. So I think that's where we really fit a niche with paraprofessionals, because they're able to accelerate through. They're able to, by doing so, they're able to decrease their cost of attendance at WGU, and we already have a pretty low tuition. So I think that's like the things that I love about WGU. I love what we do. So that's why I'm here.
Thank you, Terry. And quick question for those that we do have in the group right now, either if you could come off mute and share, or if you could share in the chat, just some of the challenges that you're seeing in recruiting right now to the districts.
Good afternoon. I'm Marnie from Bishop Unified, and we are really rural, and we've had several staff that's gone through the program at WGU and special ed mainly. And last year you guys had an accelerated program, and we had a student teacher get her BA and credential. And so she's been teaching on her own since December. So right now we have a young man who has his BA, and maybe you guys can give us a little direction here. He's working with the gal that went through your accelerated program last year. And we have a dual program that we can get people to apply for. So we have a kindergarten dual position. He does have his VA, he's subbing, but we're trying to get him into a program, and I have him in contact with the Sherry Wallace, who helped our other teacher, and hoping we can get him into some kind of program as well, so he can take over that class as soon as he can get his credential and stuff. But that's what we're struggling with right now in our dual program. But you have a great program, and our district's very thankful.
Glad to hear it. Patricia or Terry, do you have any thoughts, response to her question there?
Well, we don't work closely with enrollment, but we can definitely reach out if there's anything that we can do. Like, has the student met with Sherry already, or is Sherry the enrollment advisor that he's working with? Do you know?
He emailed me about an hour ago and told me that he and our current teacher that went through the program and graduated in December, or in November, sorry, they've reached out to Sherry. So he's hoping to hear back from her. And I'm hopeful that she'll be able to help. But
yeah, and
I think the dual thing seems to be the B-clad. It seems to be a bump in our road, maybe.
Mm-hmm. Terry, go ahead. I know you were going to say something.
I was going to say, if you have any hiccups, let me know. I have a person that's my key contact with our enrollment team that can really give more information about that. And I can also get information from our placement team about what that might look like on their end as well.
Great, thank you. I appreciate that.
I was just going to say, we've had a lot of success with Western Governors. I've got several of my staff who have gone through there, and my elementary principal, and she's just great. And it was a very good experience for her and a good program. I would look at Bishop and call that SoCal in the city, basically, from where I'm at. So we're, I like to say we're 100 miles from Walmart because it's true. Our biggest problem is bodies. So we've actually been recruiting parents with bachelors who've kind of been the stay-at-home moms and then started taking classes online. And that seems to be where we're getting our teaching staff. And that well has dried up. And I kind of typed that in the start that we're getting pretty scared at this point. So I don't know if you've got some, because we're not hiring just anybody, but we're also not getting any applicants. I mean, period. But if you got some people who want to intern or do whatever, please, we're on Ed Joint like everybody else, Modoc Joint Unified. And our pay is good. It's just, it's a geographical lifestyle that one has to embrace out here in rural Northern California. So it's finding.
And what city did you say you're in? Bishop, like going up to Mammoth?
No, Marty's in Bishop. I'm in Alturas. It's Modoc Joint Unified School District. So I'm 30 miles from Nevada and 40 miles from Oregon.
Okay.
Very northeastern tip. So like we go to Reno to catch the airport and all that. And that's 180 miles. So
gotcha.
It's a different life.
I mean, I'm sure I'll give it over to Patricia or Terry in terms of, specifically our parapro program, those pathways. But also, I'd love to chat with you later and talk about partnering with us in terms of some of the things we do with districts in terms of our virtual recruiting. So we just recently had a hiring event nationwide, and we also work with our partners to do, recruiting, virtual recruiting for them, just for that individual partner. And we're able to do that. Again, it's online and there's no cost when we partner with you. So we'd certainly love to chat with you about that later on that.
That would be great. We did we had 2 virtual job fairs with you guys through Handshake.
Oh, good. Okay.
We did those, and we're still sitting here, but we had kids or students or candidates or whatever. We had some people with us, but it's just it's a tough place to get people to. So please do. I don't know how if you can get my information off of this or whatever, but I'll put an email in the chat thing just so it's there. But I would love to talk with you about that, please.
Yeah. And Terry, I'm sure you probably have more statistics and you can maybe review with your team as far as the location. If we have currently any possible students in the pipeline, that could be maybe an opportunity for them as well.
Yeah, and what I'll do is I can reach out to the placement team and see who we have in the area. The nice thing that we can do is we know districts that have the needs and are already partnering with us, like MODOC is with us. We already have a placement agreement and up and going. So we can I can communicate with the placement team and have them kind of try to identify individuals in that area to be able to come do student teaching there. And you know, and then like Shannon said, we can look at going and building a pathway for parapros as well, or other opportunities. I know some of the districts I've worked with before have also had the issue where they had worked with the stay-at-home moms that were returning to the workforce. And yeah, so if we can help identify some other pathways, that would be awesome.
Thank you.
All right. Any other questions? Or we can brainstorm in solving a few problems. We just, I think, solve a couple, or we're on our way to solve maybe a couple.
I appreciate your time. Thank you. And I'll look forward to hearing from y'all. Again, the program's been great for, you know, my people have utilized it. They sell it to each other very well. So
thank you.
You guys are doing is working.
Thank you. Well,
Thank you for your time, and I will reach out to you guys if we need help as well.
Yes, please. And we will share the PowerPoint so that you'll have our information as well. And we'll send out an email as well, just to kind of follow up with all of you in case you want to reach out to us individually as well.
Great.
So
Thank
it's
you.
a pleasure. Thank you. Have a wonderful evening or afternoon, and enjoy your day.
You too.
Appreciate it.
You.
Thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
Bye-bye. Thank you, Corey.
Thank you guys so much.
No,
And like I said, I will